Did A$AP Rocky push his new album Don't Be Dumb back because of Travis Scott, or maybe even because of Drake? Today we're going to take a look at some of the voices that I've seen discussing that point and arguing for it and the evidence for it, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. So A$AP Rocky just pushed back his latest album, Don't Be Dumb. As we went over yesterday, he somehow subliminally dropped that in the Billboard cover story that he did, which was accompanied by an interview where we had this one paragraph where, they were discussing the album and how he was ready to finally drop this. And then at the end, we had this one sentence that read, during the course of reporting this story, he does push its release date from August 30th to the fall. So a very vague release date. We don't know when it is dropping now. It was supposed to drop in 7 days, exactly in a week, next Friday, August 30th, and we've been hyping up towards that day. And he later on addressed this on X as well, because NFR Podcast reposted that exact part from the cover story of Billboard, and he then explained the reasons behind this, stating, leaks and sample clearances are disrupting the album. It's been 6 years and I want to make the best album ever. I'm sorry for the wait. And I completely get that. I've seen a lot of you being very reasonable in the comments saying sometimes this does happen, sometimes there are sample clearances, but it did at first seem a little suspicious. Now, not because that couldn't be true, but because it's been 6 years. The leaks were a rumor at one point that were then falsely kind of like just put out again, but then never really confirmed. And honestly, I haven't seen the leaks. None of y'all have pointed out big leaks that have happened in the last week or so concerning A$AP Rocky's new album. And sample clearance issues could have been taken care of in 6 years, even though we know he's only been working on this state of the project for about a year, so that could definitely be. Nevertheless, though, we were all pretty frustrated because, we thought this was dropping August 30th. If you take 6 years to drop an album, we're kind of like expecting you to have a really good rollout, to be in really full control of it before giving us a concrete date. Sadly, this seems to happen more and more in modern day music, but it is what it is. We can't change it. Apparently now it's dropping in fall. I'll of course keep you updated as soon as we get any info on the release date. But that was Rocky's reason. But a lot of people obviously looked for some other reasons that could lead Rocky to do this, because they were not quite buying the leaks and sample clearance issues that Rocky was attributing this to. Now, one thing that people immediately gravitated towards was to blame someone else or to say that Rocky is scared to drop this album. The first person that a lot of people think of when Rocky and beef and Rocky being intimidated by someone is Travis Scott, because they look pretty similar. We've had the meme for a very long time. And they've had this beef about somebody stealing style or stealing someone's flow. Rocky has been subliminally addressing this, but then saying it's all good again over the last 10 years. It's really an old story that is just coming up again and again unnecessarily. They're both great artists. They both drop great projects in music. We could just enjoy them for what it is. But some people are saying this could be due to the long ongoing beef between the two. Now, there were some of those lines on Hijack, the first single for Don't Be Dumb, that also just got the music video I discussed in yesterday's video, where we were kind of like looking at this from Drake's perspective because of the bars about Rihanna, but they could also be attributed to Travis about stealing someone's style and just going with it, how Travis did that with Rocky. You could argue for that, even though I don't think that that is really what's happening. Now, the big reason with Travis now that we've kind of established they have this ongoing beef, is Travis dropped days before Rodeo, his second mixtape, on digital streaming platforms just today as a re-release due to its 10-year anniversary. Now, a lot of people are saying, okay, this is kind of weird. Rocky definitely pushed this back because he does not want to get outsold by Travis Scott's re-release in its second week, or have that immediate comparison of a mixtape re-release the week before that sells more than the highly anticipated 6-year wait album that Rocky is dropping the week after. So that is the main argument that people are making. Now, reasons for this is that Travis is really trying hard to get this apparently to go #1, or at least do as well as it can. The reasons for that are the album's anniversary is not actually today, August 23rd, but actually August 18th. So this was just the week of its release. Now, there's obviously no reason to believe there's any deeper reason behind this than just albums drop on a Friday, but people are saying Travis could have just dropped this on August 18th at its true anniversary, but instead he drops it on the Friday because he really does want to rake in those first week numbers. Now, that is one reason. Another one is, if you take a look at Travis Scott's shop page, or the merch bundles and vinyls and digital albums that you can purchase for Days Before Rodeo, they're quite extensive. He now also added this Spider collaboration for Days Before Rodeo, which always comes with a digital album. You have vinyls. That again, I mean, nobody asked him to do crazy merch bundles for a mixtape re-release, but he just decided to do this himself. So he's really trying to also get some numbers in, and we know the best way to really push some sales up is by doing merch bundles and by doing digital album sales. So that's exactly what Travis is doing. What do I think about this? I don't think there's any substance to this. I think Rocky isn't scared. I do believe there are some reasons behind this. I think a lot of people are just blowing this up way out of proportion. I think if Rocky had a full rollout and full concept behind this thing planned, then he wouldn't let Travis stop him. And I don't think that would really be the reason. But apparently Travis is doing pretty well with that new re-release, because he also said that he might do a tour just for Days Before Rodeo 10 years after, which just shows how great that mixtape really was. But I mean, that's something for another video. Also, one theory that I just want to address really quick, because it's even more absurd, is that Rocky pushed this album back because he was getting in the way with Drake's and PND's release of their collaborative album that Drake was teasing at some point a couple of weeks ago. I also think that is not the case, because Drake did tease that album for the fall, and it's still August, it's summer, so that album isn't coming out anytime soon. If that was the case, that the album was dropping next Friday, I also think that Drake would have said something about it, or PND as well. So there's also something that I think is even more far-fetched than the Travis one. I mean, I do see the point that people are making. Why put out these crazy merch bundles for a re-release of a mixtape if you're not really trying to push those first week numbers? But then again, is it really that deep, or is Travis just releasing an album that, just on a Friday because that's what you do, and that's what the label wants him to do, and the people above him want him to do, because they just want to get some good first week numbers, and they're not even thinking about A$AP Rocky? And I do think A$AP Rocky would just drop an amazing record if he wants to, not caring about if Travis re-released his mixtape a week earlier. But let me know what you think about this. Do you think that there is something to this conspiracy theory? Let's be real, that's what it is, at least to this theory. Do you think there's a deeper reason behind Rocky pushing this back other than leaks and sample clearance issues? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.